Hey guys, this is Miss Nelson.
And Miss Hall.
And today we are covering composite figures with holes. Okay, so if you look up at the top, it says what happens if you were only trying to find the shaded part, meaning that I don't want the parts on our figures that are going to be white or unshaded. So that means in order for us to just find the shaded parts, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to put you need to subtract. So you know at some point in this process, we are going to have to subtract. Now that doesn't mean that we may not also have to still combine shapes like adding, but at some point our final step should be to subtract. So we look at example 1, find the area of the shaded region, round to the nearest hundredths place if necessary. So we need to identify what shapes we're dealing with. My overall shape is going to be a rectangle, I'm going to abbreviate. And then I have circles. But if you look at the circles, you have two different shapes of circles. So I'm going to call it circle 1 and circle 2. So overall, to only find the shaded area, I'm going to do the rectangle minus the circle. Okay, so that is my goal by the time we leave. So I'm going to start by writing my dimensions of my rectangle because it's broken up for our circle. So across here, we have a total of 6 centimeters. And down the side, we have a total of 9 centimeters. So to find the area of a rectangle is base times height, which means it's 9 times my 6, for a total of 54 centimeters squared. Okay, so now let's go on to our circle. I'm going to call my big one circle 1 and my smaller one circle 2. Now, if I put these two halves together of circle 1, it creates one entire circle. So instead of doing 2 halves, I'm just going to count it as one circle. So my formula is pi r squared. If I plug in, I know it's 3.14. My radius here, half of 5, is going to be 2.5. So I'm going to square that. So you have to do some side work first. So I'm going to do 2.5 times 2.5. And you get 6.25. So what I'm multiplying now is 3.14 times 6.25. Okay, so I'm going to come do this. I'm going to do it here kind of underneath my 2 centimeters. Okay, so 4 times 5 is 20, 7, 15, placeholder. I have 8, 2, and 6, 2 placeholders. 24, 8, 18. So when I add them, I have 0, I have 15, 6, and 6 is 12, 14, 15, 16, 9. So when I have 4 total decimal places, so I get an answer of 19.625 centimeters squared, or 19 and 625 thousandths. So now for circle 2, I only have half of it. So this is where you bring in your 1/2 pi r squared. I know pi is still 3.14. My radius on this guy is going to be 2. So 2 squared. So 1/2 times 3.14 times 4. I'm going to go ahead now and get rid of my half. I personally like to get rid of my half as early as possible. So I can cancel it out there. So I have 3.14 times 2. And that is 628 centimeters squared. Okay, so I know we said that our overall formula was going to be rectangle minus the circles. Well, I have 2 circles, so I need to add the 2 amounts together. So I'm going to add my 628 over here with my 19 and 625 thousandths. So I'm going to add a 0 there. And I get 25 and 905 thousandths. So to find my final answer, all I'm going to do is subtract. So I'm going to take my rectangle of 54 I'm going to subtract my 25,905 thousandths. Sorry. So, my answer for this overall problem is going to be, I'm going to write it in the middle of my shape, 28 and 95 thousandths centimeters squared. Okay, so that's going to be your final answer.
Okay, I'm going to do number 2. Example 2, we're going to erase.
Oh wait, sorry. Oop, no, you're fine. I messed up. I didn't pay attention to my directions. Sorry guys. So if it rounds to the hundredth place, so which is this 9 right here, my 5 bounces my 9 up to a 10, which bounces the next one up to a 10. So that changes my answer to 28.1 centimeters squared. Sorry guys.
I had little questions. Okay, example 2. So we're looking at the shaded area. We have this triangle inside of the circle. Again, we want to find the area of the shaded part minus the white part. So I like to get a game plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go find area of circle. Then I'm going to find the area of the triangle. Then my last step is I'm going to subtract, I'm going to take the area of the circle minus the area of the triangle, and that's going to give me the area of this composite figure. So, and a lot of times what I do too is I go through my steps, I check off the steps as I do them so I see where I'm at. So we have a circle here. Our first thing is the area of a circle. We know that all the way across the diameter is 16. So therefore, we know the radius is 8 meters. So, and I even number my steps down here. So step 1, area of my circle, area equals pi r squared. So I'm substituting in 3.14 times 8 squared. Remember, it's 8 times 8, not 8 times 2. So 8 squared is 64. So now I'm going to do 3.14 times 64, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 1 is 4 plus 5, 12, 6 times 4 is 24, 6 times 1 is 6 plus 2 is 8, 6 times 3. Oh wait, 6, 9, 10, oh, carry my 1, 8, 9, 10. This is 10, carry my 1, that's 10. Okay, sorry, got a little lost there. I have 2 decimals, so my area of my circle is 296 hundredths meters squared. Okay, so I've done my first step. Now I'm going to my second step, which is the area of a triangle. Look on your formula chart, the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I know that from my base of my triangle is 16, my height, my radius is 8, from here to here is 8 as well. And so my area, I'm doing my substitution, I have 16 times 8 divided by 2. I like to get rid of my denominator. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Now we just have to multiply 16 times 4. door, which is 64. My area of my triangle is 64 square meters. Okay, so I've done step 2. Get a little more room here. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to take the area of my circle and subtract my area of my triangle. So I have my step 3, 200, 96 hundredths, minus 64. Make sure you line up those decimals. And it is 136. So my answer is 136 and 96 hundredths square meters. And that was my last step. Did you do the next one? Oh.
You have another page that I don't have?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry guys, I thought we were done. We're not done. Okay.
Other page.
Okay, example 3. The front of a garage needs to be painted. The total area except for the door will be painted. The door is 1.5 meters high and 2 meters wide. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to label my door. So this is going to be 1.5 meters. This is going to be 2 meters. Okay, so it says everything except the door will be painted. So I don't want this door. I want everything else that's around. So it wants to know how many square meters will be painted. So I know that I want the house, subtract the door. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go and divide my pieces into shapes. Okay, so I know if I cut across the top, I have a triangle on the top. I have a big rectangle for the house, and then we'll take out the door, and then I have a triangle. So if we go through, we know that, let's start with our big triangle first. I'm sorry, let's start with our big rectangle first. So I'm going to start with my rectangle. Area is base times height, which equals 3.5 times 2.5. Okay, so 3.5 to 2.5. Okay, so that leaves me 8.75, and we are in meters squared. Okay, let's go ahead and do the door so that we know what we're going to take out. We're just going in order of what they are. So again, base times height. So 1.5 times 2. So 1.5 times 2. You get 3, so that's 3 meters squared. Okay. And for my triangle, I know area equals 1/2 base times height. So half of, now my base here at the bottom here is 3.5. This is also going to be 3.5. And it tells you over here on the side that the height is 1 2/10. So because you have a 1/2, you can multiply in whatever order you would like. Okay, I'm going to multiply by my decimals first. So I'm going to multiply 3.5 and 1.2. Okay, so I get 4.2. So now I have half of 4.2. And if I divide that in half, I know that's going to be 2.1 meters squared. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this 2.1 meters squared, and I'm going to add it to my big rectangle, which was the 8 75 hundredths. So 8 75 hundredths, 2.1. And I get 10 85 hundredths. And then I have to subtract my door here for the 3. So 10 85 hundredths minus a whole 3. Be careful where you put your 3. Do not stick it under the 5. So that means my answer is 7 85 hundredths meters squared. That is how much that is going to be painted on the house. Okay, so let's look at B. It says a can of paint covers 2.5 feet squared. How many cans of paint will we need? Okay, well we know how much is going to be painted, which is our 7 8500ths, and we know that one can is 2.5. So I have to move my decimal, and now I'm going to divide. 25 goes into 78 3 times, which is 75. 25 goes into 35 1 time. Now at this point I can stop because we get an answer of 3.1 something. So if I only buy 3 cans of paint, we're going to have a little bitty piece on the side that's not fully covered. So therefore, I have to round up to 4 cans. And it says a can of paint costs $24.50. How much will it cost to paint the front of the garage? Well, very easy. Take your cost of $24.50 and multiply it by how many cans you're going to have, which is 4. Okay, so 2 decimal places. So you were going to spend a total of $98 for everything to paint the front of that garage. Okay, so we're going to go on to number 4. It says how many square feet of dirt are needed for the proposed track? Use 3.14 for pi. Okay, so in this case, what we want to know this tan area right here. Okay, because that's what the bikes are going to go on. If they go around the track, they're not going to go in the middle. They're not going to go on the outside. Okay, so we want to know what I kind of scribbled in. I'm going to let Miss Hall take over.
Okay. So, like I said before, I'd like to get a game plan. So, we have to do this big circle, which is this whole area, including the white in the middle. And so we want area. So our first step is area of, I just can't write right now, of large circle. Then our next step is our area of the white circle, the little small circle. And then our last step is we're subtracting. So area of large circle minus area of small circle equals the area that we're looking for. Okay, so step 1, area of our large circle. I'm going to come over here and do step 1. So that radius is 40 feet. So I have area equals pi r squared, 3.14. Our radius is 40. Oops, not 4, 40. Squared. I know 4 times 4 is 16. Add my 2 zeros. So that's 3.14. So 40 squared is 1600. Now I have to multiply 1600 times 3.14. Here, I'm going to put my 3.14 on top. Because I know that's 0, that's 0. Now multiplying by my 6. 6 times 4 is 24. How about 4 carrying my 2? 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20. Okay, now multiplying by my 1. I did something really wrong here. 0, 0, 6 and 4. It's up here. Okay guys, everybody has off days. Okay, 0, 0, 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 1 is 6. See what I did there? 24 is 6, 7, 8. Now 6 times 3 is 18. Let's try this again. Now I have my, I'm having trouble getting everything lined up here. I'm having trouble, Miss Nelson.
It's that kind of day.
It is that kind of day. And I have two, should be, yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. So area equals 5,024 square feet. Okay, so that's the area for our, another strategy I do is I usually circle the numbers I'm gonna have to use later, just so I don't have to hunt so much when I'm, when I get to that last step and I'm adding and subtracting. Okay, so that is step one. Step two, area of the small circle. Again, A equals pi r squared. Our radius on this one is 25. That is one of those perfect squares that most of you should know. 25 squared is 625. And now I have 3.14 times 625. Sorry, I'm just running out of room here. Gracious. Okay. 2 decimals, so decimal goes there. Area of my smaller circle is 19, 62, and 5/10. Okay, let's go back up here because I have to go all the way down. So that was step 2. Step 3 is subtracting the large one from the small one. So I have step 3. And we have 5,024 minus. Add that 0. Looks like I have bunny ears with my bow, doesn't it? Okay, so our area that is going to be, what are we doing to it? Dirt is going to be 3,061 and 5/10. Is it meters? Feet squared, square feet. And that's your answer. Okay, guys, I know these are tedious and they take a little time. Finish your notes and come back tomorrow with questions.
Have a good day.